morning children, good morning to one and all. How are you all? I hope everyone are fine. Yes children, now let us start the session with a quote. A well begin is half done. So we have to begin with a bang. Begin with a bang. Yes children, I hope 2 videos from this lesson got over. And this is video 3, that is part 3 from this lesson, isn't it? So the chapter name is chapter 11, Transportation in Animals and Plants. Chapter 11, Transportation in Animals and Plants. Yes children, the topics to be covered from this lesson, that is, first one is all about excretion in animals. Excretion in animals. And the second topic is transportation of substances in plants. Transportation of substances in plants. Yes children, now let us start with the session. Yes children, now let us recollect how carbon dioxide is removed from the body. Yes, how it is removed, ma? It is removed through lungs. It is removed through lungs, and that is called respiration. And how undigested food is removed? It is removed by a process called digestion. It is removed by a process called digestion. Yes children, now we have cells in our body, isn't it? Cells are the building blocks of all organisms. Yes children, when cells perform these functions, certain waste products are produced, and these waste products are toxic and should be removed from human body. How can this be done? How can this be done? Yes children, so the removal, the process of removing the waste products or the toxic substance produced in the cell of living organism is called excretion. It is called excretion, and the parts or the organs involved in excretion forms the excretory system. Yes children, now excretory system in humans. We all know blood carry all the nutrient to various parts in our body, isn't it? So when the blood travels to the various parts, it's also it also absorbs, or it also contains unwanted substance or a harmful substance or toxic substance. So these waste products or the toxic substance should be removed from the blood. But how we can remove this toxic substance from the blood? Yes children, we can remove the toxic substance from the blood through our excretory system. That is, excretory system. In human, excretory system comprises of pair of kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. Again, pair of kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. Yes children, the blood which passes into the kidney children contains both useful and harmful substance. The useful products are absorbed back into the blood, and the waste products which is dissolved in water are removed in the form of urine. Now the urine is stored in the urinary bladder, and it is excreted out through urethra, that is urinary opening called urethra. So as we discussed before children, pair of kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra comprises our excretory system. An adult human being normally passes about 1 to 1.8 liter of urine in 24 hours. What is the composition of urine children? Urine consists of 95% of water, 2.5% of urea and 2.5% of other waste products. Yes children, we have started with excretory system in humans, and we saw excretory system, that is kidneys, pair of kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra, isn't it? But children, even our skin is also a part of excretory system, because the unwanted toxic products, it is removed through the pores of skin in the form of sweat. But what is the use of sweating children? Yes, sweat keeps our body cool. It means it balances the body temperature. It's very, very important children. Sweating should happen, because in winter seasons, so this is a winter season, December, isn't it? Sweating will not take place much. But during summer season, especially in the month of April and May, we sweat a lot, isn't it? So all the extra accumulation of toxic substance are removed through the pores in the skin in the form of sweat. As I told you children, Sweating keeps our body cool and balances our body temperature Children, you might have seen about our excretory system, that is consists of pair of kidney, ureter and urinary bladder. So the kidney just they purify and filters the blood and remove all the excess fluid and unwanted elements like sodium and potassium in the form of urine, right? So when a kidney is unable to work or partially injured, or if they are with acute kidney injury, so that time they use this dialysis machine. This machine is called hemodialyzer and artificial kidney. So the process done by the kidney, that is purification and filtration of blood, isn't it? It's done by this hemodialyzer. So children, to make an assessment, to get the blood flow into the machine, a minor surgery is performed by the doctor, either in the arm or in the leg. Occasionally they use a narrow plastic pipe into the larger vein into the neck. And that is a temporary arrangement, but it is a long-term basis, children, isn't it? So we have different type of dialysis. This is one of the common dialysis machine which is used almost for everyone. Here we have a filter. So minute pores are present in this filter to filter and purify our blood. And this is a pump which pumps the blood fast from the arterial tube. And they use heparin, children. If you have dialysis, children, yes, dialysis is very important because without dialysis, salt and other toxic products will accumulate in the blood, poison the body, and it will damage all other organ systems in our body. And it takes children actually 4 hours to complete one session of dialysis. But dialysis is not a cure. We have to address these issues with different other sources also.
Excretion in animals. Removal of wastes produced in the cells of various living organisms is called excretion. Many waste products are produced by the cells during various life processes. These products become toxic if retained in the body. So, there is a necessity for their removal. This process of removal of the toxic substances is excretion. The organs involved in excretion from the excretory system. Excretion in human beings.
The kidneys are a pair of reddish, bean-shaped organs. The blood collects the waste from all over the body, and when that blood flows through the kidneys collect these waste from the blood and form urine. 95% of urine is just water. The kidneys are formed of small nephrons which filter blood. From the kidneys, the urine goes into 2 tubes, the ureters, and then it gets stored into the urinary bladder for a short time. It is passed out through the urinary opening at the end of a muscular tube called the urethra. This process of eliminating harmful substances from the body of living organism is called excretion. In short, the human excretory system comprises of kidneys, which are a pair of reddish bean-shaped organs, 2 tubes called ureters, a urinary bladder that stores urine, and a urethra which passes out the urine.
Yes, children. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is transportation of substances in plants. Yes, children, we all know that plants absorb water and minerals from the soil with the help of rooters, isn't it? With the help of rooters, that is by the roots. And that water and minerals is taken to all the parts of the plants. That is to the stem, that is to the shoot system, isn't it? And same way, children, leaves. Leaves are called the kitchen of the plant because leaves prepare food with the help of sunlight, water, chlorophyll, isn't it? And by a process called photosynthesis, the leaves prepare food. And that food is transported to all other parts of the plants, including the root. But why? Because, children, Food is a major source of all living organisms, whether it is human being or whether it is animals or whether it is plants. We all need food, isn't it? So children, as I told you, food is a major source of energy. But how this energy is released? Energy is released by breaking down of glucose. By breaking down of glucose. We all know, children, we intake food. After digestion is converted into glucose, and the glucose is taken into each and every cell of the body, isn't it? So inside the cell, breaking down of glucose takes place, which results in releasing of energy. With the help of that energy, we are able to perform all other function, isn't it, children? So food must be made available to each and every cell of an organism. Yes, children, I have a question now. How the water which is poured to the root is taken to all parts of the body, including the leaf? Or how the food prepared by the leaf is taken to each and every part of the plant body, including the root? Isn't it? Yes, that's going to be our topic of discussion. Isn't it, children? Yes, now let us move on into our main discussing part. Let us move on into transportation of water and minerals in plants. Yes, children, we pour water to the soil, isn't it? So, the roots present in the soil will have root hairs. So, now the root hair will increase the surface area of the root for the absorption of water and minerals. Isn't it? Because the root hair are in contact with the water present between the soil particles. Yes, children, now the root has absorbed the water. But how it is transported to all the parts of the plants? Does the plant have any transport system? Yes. Pipe-like vessels are present in the plant which transport water and minerals, and that is called vascular tissue. And the name of the vascular tissue which transports water and minerals is called xylem vessel. It is called xylem vessel. A tissue is a group of cells performing specialized function in an organism, isn't it? And in plants, that is called, we have two types of vascular tissues, children, that is xylem and phloem. And now we are seeing about xylem. Xylem is a vascular tissue which transports water and minerals to the plant. But how it transports water and minerals from the root to the shoot, that is root to the leaf? Yes, children, because the xylem vessels forms a network of channel, that is starting from the root to the leaf. So when water is absorbed, children, water and mineral is absorbed, the xylem vessels just transport water and minerals to the leaves through stem and branches at last to the leaves, that is to the entire plant body, or to all the parts of the plant, or to all the parts of the plant. Children, we saw how xylem vessel just transport the water from root to the leaf. Same way, children, leaf prepares the food for the plant, isn't it? It is prepared in the leaves, isn't it? That is shoot system. Leaf is the shoot system. But how it is transported to the root? Yes, children, it is by a vascular tissue called phloem. So xylem transport water and minerals, and phloem just transport the synthesized food, that is prepared food by the leaves, that is from the leaves to the root. Same way, children, a continuous network of channel of phloem tissue runs throughout the plant, isn't it? So the food prepared by the leaf, it is transported to the root through stem and branches at last to the root. So children, we have seen two types of vascular tissue. One is xylem and one is phloem, isn't it? Xylem transport water and minerals, and phloem transport the food prepared by the leaves. That is, phloem transport the food from the leaf to the root, and xylem transport water and minerals from the root to the leaves. And then we saw what is vascular tissue, isn't it? Tissue is a group of cells performing specialized function in an organism, isn't it? Isn't it, children? Yes, children. So this is how transportation of water and minerals and food, or transportation of substances that takes place in plant. Yes, children. Now let us see transpiration in plants. Transpiration in plants. Yes, children, we all know plant absorb water and mineral nutrient from the soil, isn't it? But all the water is not utilized by the plant, right? So excess of water is removed from the plant by a process called transpiration. So the excess water is evaporated through the stomata present in the leaves. We all know what is stomata, tiny pores which is present in the lower surface of the leaves, children, but it differs from plant to plant. In few plants, children, a stomata is present even on the upper surface of the leaves, isn't it? So the excess water is evaporated through the stomata present on the leaves by a process called transpiration. So children, the evaporation of water through leaves generates a suction pull, children. Suction pull is nothing but, children, we all drink water or cool drinks or juice through straw, isn't it? Same process. So the evaporation of water through leaves generates suction pull, which helps to pull water to great heights in case of tall trees. What is the use of transpiration, children? What is the use of sweating in humans? Sweating cools our body and it balances our body temperature. Same way, children, transpiration cools the plant. Transpiration cools the plant and balances proper temperature in plant body. Yes, children. Yes, we have completed the lesson, children, and we'll recapitulate few points which we have covered in this particular video. We started with excretory system, isn't it? So excretory system comprises of two pair of kidneys, tube-like structure called ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra, that is urinary opening, isn't it? And what is necessary to have an excretory system? Because we have to remove the toxic substance present in the blood, isn't it? And when blood is passed through the kidneys, children, what happens? Blood contains both useful and harmful substance. The useful substance is absorbed back into the blood, and the harmful substance, that is a toxic substance which is dissolved in the water, is removed as urine, isn't it? And the composition of urine we saw, that is 95% of water, 2.5% of urea, and 2.5% of other waste products. Then we moved on with dialysis. What is dialysis we saw, and the process of dialysis also we saw in detailed video, isn't it? I think that would have helped you to understand what is dialysis completely, right? Because the process of filtration also was shown to you all people. Next, we started with transportation of substances in plants, that is xylem and phloem, vascular tissues. Both are vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. Xylem transport water and mineral nutrient, and phloem transport the food. Then we moved on with transpiration, the evaporation of excess of water through leaves by a process called transpiration. And what is the use of transpiration, children? It cools the plant body. Yes, children, I hope this video would have given a clear picture of what is excretory system, transportation in plants, isn't it, children? Watch the video completely and then start filling your worksheet. Yes, children. Thank you. Have a good day.